Hello, and thanks for stopping by. This is the Diaspora Divas podcast, and we have Joy, Omari, and Ogre, and together we are the Diaspora Divas. Today we're talking about a very interesting topic, and it's titled Omugwo in the Abroad. So Omugwo is originally like an Igbo thing, but more and more we see other cultures in Nigeria starting to embrace it. And it's the idea behind Omugwo is when you have a baby, your mom or your husband's mom comes to look after you and your baby until you are well enough to carry on with your journey of motherhood.
That's right.
Yeah, but I think that in the abroad, it has become different because you don't have all of the things that you would necessarily have at home. So depending on the area your mother is coming from or whatever your mom is coming to do for you in the abroad. And I think that Omugwo has different variations. I think that it is very different in the abroad because maybe we don't necessarily have all the help that we need like we have back home. So I don't know.
But come to think of it, I think when you're back home, it's more like we say it's the mothers, but I think it's the community. Because Omugwo is not complete sometimes. You see, there's still uncle, there's still auntie, there's still neighbors, and all of them make up your mothers. But here, you probably just have yourself, your immediate family, and your mom or your mother-in-law that has just showed up. So there's a huge difference on how to explain Omugwo in the abroad.
I can completely understand what you mean, but I have had experiences from both in Nigeria, where I had my first child, and in Australia, where I had the other two.
Making excuses for them.
But then in Nigeria, when I had my first, my mother-in-law was there. I had aunties come in. My brothers came in. And the house was full. Like I literally didn't lift a finger to do anything.
Tell me about
so
it. Yeah.
Preparing food, even personal care, all of that was taken care of. The only thing that was required for me to do was breastfeed. Like when she's hungry, they just they just bring her breastfeed. Once she breastfeeds, take her back.
And give you food to boost your supply for the next breastfeeding.
But then when I had my second child here in Australia, it was just myself, my husband, my first child, the baby, and then my mother-in-law traveled. My mother-in-law traveled to Australia to help out. And it was also another fantastic experience, if I'm being honest, because she is someone that she's a very hands-on person. And even the minutes or the one or two times out, I will venture out of the room or I'm not seen to be resting. She'll be like, no. Go. What do you want to do? I'll do it. It's fine. Go. She was that kind of person. So that was also a fabulous experience. But coming to the third child, I think it was quite different. I think it was quite different because it's like, the first one, you have no idea what you're doing. The second one, you have some experience, but, I will help out. The third one is like, look, you are more than capable.
So you can handle it.
But, I think, all my experiences have just been in Australia. But also, I think my first experience, my first child, obviously, it was still easy and manageable. So my mom has come, and, it's just her. So everyone can still move around and do everything and you can still relax a bit.
Yeah.
But by the time she's come back again, we're talking about 2 children down and 1. And there are 3. And so that expectation you had before and now, so you're like, that's how it worked that time. And then now you're seeing something completely different. You wake up frustrated every day because she's probably looking after 1 child. And you've just given birth, and the next day in 24 hours, you're standing up to go and do school runs. And then you begin to ask yourself, because people are asking you, hope you are resting. And you're doing, are you really resting? No, I'm not resting. So it's also quite different. And this Omugwo thing, like you said, it's originated with the Igbos. I think the abroad life just made everybody adopt Omugwo.
True.
And because when you're abroad, you need help. So it's more like everybody's like, your mom is sure, Abi. Your mom is sure. Everybody's just saying the same thing. And so it's not like standard. Your mom is coming for Omugwo. And And some people, they don't even know God. Like when you give birth, they'll come, but they'll come with somebody. Ah, this person is here to help you,
True,
to know, to soak your leg,
yeah.
to do everything that you need to do. So they don't even have an idea. I see parents that come from Mugo here now looking at YouTube just to learn what they have. No, just to learn what they haven't done before, So different experiences for different people, but
I think that also when the parents come here, it might not be so easy for them because back home, it's their community. They have access to doing a lot of things. They have access to the market. They know where to drive through. They know where to take the child to the park. But in here, they don't know anywhere. They don't know how to drive the roads because from back home, left hand drive, here's right hand drive. So even if they want to assist you with school run, they are worried about adapting. Sometimes my mom will like say if she has a way, she can just stroll to Woolies or she can put. She doesn't know where. She doesn't know how to use the map and all of that. So it's quite difficult for the parents to also adapt. And I think I don't know. It's both ways. I think it depends on what you're receiving and what you're giving when it comes to moving in the abroad. We have some people that come and like we said they don't have experience in all of this and that. If you are able to make their experience wholesome, I think maybe it might be a better experience for both parties. Maybe the Omugwo giver and the Omugwo receiver.
I think it boils down to expectations.
yes,
Expectations. Because myself, I will say like I'm married to an Igbo man. So my mother-in-law clearly knows what Omugwo is about and what she's expected to do. And even as a child, when my mom had my youngest brother, my grandma came to stay in the house. So I could see how she would help my mom, look after the baby, bathe the baby, make sure my mom was getting enough rest. She did all of that. So it was, being that my mom is not even here today, I didn't have much of an expectation. But my mother-in-law, thank God for her, she's fabulous. She just steps in and just takes charge of everything. So whether she's here or whether she's in Nigeria, but of course age also plays a huge role because with my last child, she's older than she was with my first. So even I had to adjust my expectations as well. Like she's not as young and as strong as she used to be back then. So, adjust the expectations. It's just a bit harder after your first child or after your first two children because those ones are grown up. They require a different level of care as well. And sometimes you expect that, oh, I know that you are solely here because of the baby. But it would be nice if you could also just assist with,
other
small things concerning these older ones.
No, you're very right because, okay, I'm here for the baby, I'm here for, but life is still going on with other people. I literally still have to wake up in the morning, get the kids ready, do this, do that. Sometimes it's even more daunting to look after those ones than even the baby. But then I also feel like, just like we said, expectation. I feel that sometimes how it works is everybody needs to put themselves in each other's shoes. You need to assume that, let me put myself in my child's shoes. How is she going about it? I've helped her with the baby. But then there's maybe two kids, three other ones, depending on how many you have. How is she going to go about it? Because you might just be angry, you're doing this, and you're like, she's just there with the baby. And I'm here, I'm still stressed. I like,
one thing to point out is, in this environment, everything is almost like it's timed. You get? So after having my two kids, I have structured my household in a way that works and it's just like a well-oiled engine or machine that at every point in time, everyone knows what they're expected to do. But then when my mother-in-law comes in, it's hard for her to adjust to that. So if I say, oh, the kids need to be in bed by 7:30 latest, but then she's taking them to the park at 6:30 and they've not had dinner.
That's not her bedtime. That's not her bedtime. Again, convenience.
Because back home we're more relaxed with time.
True.
And here, speaking like
time is literally money.
Every second counts in Australia, so that is one of the big issues. You can, for example, maybe your mom can say, "Let me just sleep into like 7:30. After the baby will go to school like 30 minutes late.
Yeah.
Although
It can't work like that.
Although necessarily we don't do that back home, we can go on time, but you still have that leverage.
Yeah.
But here, if the baby misses morning tea, it's a problem.
It's a problem because the rest
Yes.
of not just the rest of your day just gets affected.
Yes.
Like if my kids don't go to bed at 7:30, 8 p.m., dead drop time, I'll be drop dead time. If they don't go to bed by 8 p.m., in the morning they all wake up cranky. And then that just spills over to everyone having a difficult morning.
That's right.
And if I'm going into the office, everyone just gets delayed because of that seemingly small thing.
So we're telling people now that if they want to have their parents come over, they should not have so much of a high expectation. They should limit their expectations because one, parents cannot adapt easily to their birth. Two, they are aged and they're just trying to, figure out how they can with their bed vocal waist or maybe their legs.
Well, I also think that we even need to communicate more with them. Maybe when they call us, we're just saying, hello, how are you? Fine, the children are fine, everything is fine. Well, we have to be factual. It's very stressful.
But these our stories, like our personal stories so far, are even best case scenarios.
Oh, yes.
These are best case scenarios because we've had instances where maybe a mother-in-law, for instance, the evil mother-in-law.
Yeah, I know. And very
come for
interesting.
Omugwo,
Yeah.
and you've probably had a C-section or you've had a very difficult delivery, but they still expect you, maybe when you even have like a difficult delivery, I think you spend maximum 3 to 5 days in the hospital. You are still in recovery. And then you get home and they're expecting you to prepare breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh my God. I think this still brings us to the part where we are saying that it's non-Igbos. Like this Omugwo thing is really Igbo. The average Igbo woman wants you to raise your leg up, put it. She will bait you.
Do the whole belly
I
pressing
think
and
it
all
also
that.
depends on your person, on the kind of mothers-in-law that you have, because there are still people that are Igbos, not disrespect, that would still say it's not my place. I'm just here to help with the baby.
But then with the Igbo culture, we know that is what they do. Majority of them, But like the non-Igbos, for example, some tribes, it's about respect.
Yeah.
So even the fact that you tell them, bring that water, you are saying it because you are doing something else, and but with courtesy, obviously. To them, maybe in their heart, see that one because I'm in a house now. You just they send me message, then I get respect. But it's for us not to have expectation, but for them to also know that it's like when my mom came in this time. First thing she said is, here is a do it yourself. Oh, she's gotten the memo from the first time. When you have come and it's like nah so. But now it's more like here is do it. You see her on the phone telling people here is do it yourself. DIY. So she's gotten the memo. So it's for them to also understand that here there's nothing like help. Back home you can have 4 people doing the same routine, but here you have one person acting like 4 people.
Yeah.
So you're coming here to make my work look like 2 people's work while you're doing the other 2 people, and it's give and take. I know some parents will say their experience here is this, but see, what you give is what you receive.
True.
If you give me yourself, I will give you myself in turn.
True. So what do you guys think? Sorry to cut you short. What do you guys think about how to make, if people are coming over to, they're bringing their parents, what do you guys think are the basic things you should put in place for your parents to at least be comfortable when they get here?
First of all, if you don't have a good relationship with your parents,
don't bother.
Just leave it. Let it just end on WhatsApp calls.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Just keep it to WhatsApp calls.
Yes.
Because living here is already difficult, and you don't want that extra stress in your life. You absolutely don't need it. If you have a mother-in-law, you don't have a good relationship with her. Like that your conversations with her just end at I'm fine, ma. The baby is fine, ma. Husband is fine, ma. After you say all that, there's nothing else
you don't really know her, but for me, she's been so nice. But we blend when she comes. Welcome to reality.
Two of you, then we throw
blend.
Puccini blender.
But coming to somewhere like Australia, it's not something where you say the cost of living is because baby flight tickets alone.
Yes,
Oh.
minimum 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Mm.
So you must
Yeah.
want to make sure that for that 6 to 8 months,
Can you
that
stay with this person
Yeah.
for that amount of time? Because it's a different thing when you constantly just call, oh, mommy, I just called to greet you. It's very different from when you are both in the house
exactly.
sleeping and waking at the same time.
I think the other issue that with mother-in-laws, some mother-in-laws are amazing. I've met them, but I think the other thing with
Like
mother-in-law, yes, yes, kudos to her wherever she is. But then the thing we need to understand is that mother-in-laws, because they also don't know how it works in the abroad where we're doing things together. So when they come and you are asking your husband to maybe turn on the gas or put rice on fire, the first notion they get is, my pikin don't turn to slave. Oh.
They don't turn my son to boy.
So you know that kind of thing. And they know they get bad mind for you. Like they're like, this girl is not who I think she is.
Yeah.
You know, it starts to, because I've watched people tell me that my mother-in-law is like, I can't tell my husband to do this when she's there. Oh. You know, so they don't even understand
So
the
in
reality.
that scenario, let mama just stay where she is.
She doesn't,
Because
she won't
by the time
understand.
she travels back, they'll report it to the elders of the family.
And you know what? The beautiful relationship you had with her before, when she
Yeah.
comes here and
starts
goes
to
back,
change.
it will be different
Yeah.
because for her, you're not treating her son right.
Right, true.
And I think that's the thing with mother-in-laws. Everybody's like, with Jade, I spent weekend. I know some people that say, I spent weekend with her. Don't worry, we're 5 and 6. 3 weeks into coming here, you're in the bathroom crying. You expect me to make breakfast.
5 and 6, not also 5 and 10.
Come to think of it, were you not making breakfast and lunch for her when you went to spend weekend?
Mm-hmm.
You were. So you don't blame her for that. But yes, it's a communication we need to have. I was talking to someone recently. I told her, are you sure you don't want to do this on your own? Because I know you don't know her. So
when it comes to money, like some parents will say, I'm here, you must take care of all my needs. Because back home, I'm used to this, this, that. So how do you factor in their expenses? Making sure that you make them as comfortable as when they were back home? Or do you expect them to adjust to how you're living here?
When you say expenses, like what sort of expenses would they have had before coming down here?
For example, maybe mom likes to go on dinners once in a while.
do her
Or
nails.
she does, to do nails here. Hey, exactly right. People say like to do nails here.
Yeah.
If we are converting the money, it's like 100,000.
Yeah.
So
Change their hair every 3 weeks.
So what are your expectations? What do you guys think we should do when it comes to taking care of our parents back here? Because they too need to stay happy actually. We need to keep them happy even though they are coming here, because they're sacrificing a lot actually, living their life back home and coming to help out.
You know what I told someone recently? I said, in as much as we're always saying, I want our mom to come, I'll walk. I told someone, do you know it's not cost effective for your parents to come here?
Mm-hmm.
Just take it that you are buying your mental freedom or the psychological effect to relieve your mental stress. Because you still have to keep up with their expenses.
Yeah.
If they were paying 3 children's school fees in Nigeria, you will pay it. If they have to change their hair, maybe not every 3 weeks like they were doing in Nigeria, but you will still have to keep up with it. Because I've noticed that one of the things that builds up their frustration here is when they're not getting the things that they were used to back home. So when they are bitter, believe me,
it will flow.
I was saying one day to my sister, and I said to her, anytime mom does one of those routines like sweeping her, all those massage therapy, she comes back home and she's full on. Want to wash plates, want to cook all the food. In my mind, that's like what massage therapy can do. You know, that's an example. So you realize that 1 month they will understand, 2 months they understand, 3 months you haven't done anything. My mom was trying to say something the other day. She's like, there's this grandmom's gathering that they go to. She's like, sometimes, like somebody asked them a question, and by the time they were responding, you could also see that even the grandmothers have their own version of the story that they're going to tell you. So while we're here thinking that we're not getting the full support they need, they're also feeling like we sideline them too. So I think it's both ways. We still need to keep up. We also need to understand that they're coming here is not for us to make money, because abroad life is money. We can't make more money, but You see, when people have postpartum depression and all that, it's as a result of, no help, having to manage everything. How do I survive? So I feel like parents coming here is to help us remove that side of the stress when we have kids. But some people's mindset is that, I thought when mom come, I'll make $20,000. But they are still in deficit. They are angry. Mom is angry. So what?
So what are our key takeaways?
Key takeaway is, first of all, setting expectations.
Yes.
Why do you even want your mom? Why do you want your
come
mother-in-law to come? Is she coming so that she can look after the kids and then you run out to make money? Is she coming so that she can look after the kids and then you have time to look after yourself properly so that you recover from all of the joys of childbirth and all everything that comes with it? What are you trying to achieve from her coming? When you can answer that question honestly for yourself, then it sets the tone for what you want out of that.
Well, but I also think, like she said, you set expectation, and it all boils down to understanding. Like, if this is what I want, I'm already saying that I'm stressed from home. If I have help, this is what I would do. We already have that. Let me tell you, when everybody's happy, you see sometimes. Like one of my friends said, her mom was telling her, take that shift, go and do that job. The point is, you could tell that woman is happy.
Yeah, she's happy to take your stress away from you.
She's happy to take your stress. So if you approach it in that way, you realize that everybody will be happy, and both of you will find yourself coming up with ways where
to make each other happy.
And it's like my mom said to me that day. She's like, resume work. I'm saying, no, I'm not resuming yet. She's like, resume now. I can stay with the three of them. And me, all this while I'm still saying, 3 children is too much. But see, she's already coming to a point where she's like, hey, I'll manage now. Let her go out there. And then when I go out there, I should be able to come back and say, without her, it wouldn't have been possible. So let me take something out of her bucket list that will excite her.
When I had my second child and my mother-in-law came in. At that point, I wasn't even working since we got into the country, and it was hard for me to shift from that mental state of I just had a baby to going back out there to get a job and all of that. It was really hard, but because of her presence, it allowed. You know how you will see someone has just taken over everything, and it's almost as if there's nothing for you to really do. So what are you not doing this time? Go out there and go back to work. Because even when I'm at work, she will call me. Oh, girl, I've brought out meat from the fridge. Should we make ogbono or okra or what? She's that kind of person. Like she just literally just takes the stress of running the household in that time. So it helps me. It helped greatly for me to adjust and just switch my mind back to going back into the workforce.
So you don't start coming back and you're like, oh my God, I just get home.
I'm not trying to leave the office at 4 so that I can make dinner, so that everyone can eat on time.
Something just came into my head now. Another thing I realized is that most parents, when they're coming abroad, the first thing that comes to their head is all my problems will be solved. So they're like, when I go there, I'll tell her about this, I'll tell her about this, I'll tell her. That most people abroad are living in debt. Everything is payment plan.
Talking about that, Omugwo originally is after your mom or your mother-in-law, whoever comes, does everything.
Get them something big.
Yes. So you do like a send for them. So if it's like in the olden days, maybe buying wrappers, buying
something for the dad, if he's alive, or whatever,
food stuff and all of that, and some money. But if my mom or my mother-in-law is already coming with the mindset of
solving everybody's problems,
this 500K when I don't define since that this girl good.
To be honest, these are things that people are going through. Maybe the first 2 months they're here, they will now bring one problem, and you already know in your heart, like when she's going, this is what I will do. Then in between. Well, the thing is, that's a very good angle to go to. In between, if I've been sending this for 500K, I feel that I've saved. Then when they're not going, maybe you say, go for pocket. They go cost you. Wait, I don't know how best to explain it. It's like, how can I spend 1 year and this is what I go back with peanuts? And I met someone that she was so bitter that she ended up one parent ended up doing transfer of her own money down here just to buy some things because she probably
Wow.
felt that she didn't, so
Get enough.
mhm.
Wow.
So it's really give and take. But
Yeah.
like you said, I think
Every,
why we want
both
them to
sides,
understand
both the
us,
parents,
we need to
both the
also
children,
understand
lower your
them
expectations because
expectations.
the abroad is not easy. Even if it's back home, so everywhere is not easy. So everybody.
When you
Yeah.
started having kids, did you have any Omugwo experience?
I had my kids in Niger, and it was my mom was like, hey, it was full on. Although my mother did not lift a finger, but she made sure that she provided everything that I needed. Like
Still
she
luxury.
didn't even, I tell you, she didn't even tell me, oh, stay at home. She told me, come to the
Come
family
stay with
house.
me, yeah.
So I gave birth in where my mom was. My mom, in fact, when I had the second one and she was not available, I was like, hey God,
What will I do with my
so
life?
this is how it is. And then we had I had a nanny. My mom had her own help. So imagine just like you said, you wake up, just breastfeed the baby, do like that, go back to sleep, go back.
Yeah.
The only thing that overwhelmed me was during the first week of postpartum, getting back yourself together, baby couldn't breastfeed. That was the only thing I said. But every single thing helped, even my baby dedication. My mother brought food all the way.
But I think I even remember when she was saying one of those times, she's like, "Ah, my mother-in-law, she would bath, she'll do this. I can't
Yes.
even hold my baby.
And then,
I can't
yes,
imagine somebody
true,
complaining.
true.
I can't even hold my baby.
I
I'm sure. In my head, I'm like,
Yes.
no. Why?
Then if I want to carry my baby, my mother-in-law will be like,
No, bring her. You dey cry? Why you dey carry her?
not to carry her, bring her. I didn't shower. I want to tell my husband. I didn't shower my first child until after my mother-in-law left because after I stayed with Momsi, I came back to my base. My mother-in-law came. My mother-in-law took care of bathing in the morning, in the night. I would go to work, come back, and I was just to breastfeed.
Yeah.
Baby make food and all of that. But I didn't shower my baby. So it was difficult for me to shower my second baby in the first 3 months because I was like,
What do I do?
Yeah.
No, my mother-in-law used to call me. Like, there's a small chair. When I had my first, I would just sit down there and just watch everything that she was
Saying
doing.
and doing is different. When they go, you say, "Oh, I've been watching her. Why is the baby sleeping from her?"
I know. In fact, you got to a point that when my mother-in-law was pressing me, like, don't do it. You get? So I think yes, it's very different. Seeing my sister and how she's coping and moving, I'm like, I'm never, ever, ever in the diaspora giving
I to do this.
No, I can't.
It's not sweet.
Yeah, so if you're back home and you're watching this,
Go back to Nigeria. Then the baby is like,
Abi.
1 year.
You come back.
But this is enough reason for people back home to understand why you see people that don't want to give birth to more than 1 or 2 kids abroad. It is hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But some of us still get motivated. We've done it 3 times. We're ending there. No more.
One more for the road.
Not me.
Forever.
Imagine it's so hard to squeeze time to do something.
True.
Self-care becomes very difficult.
Yes.
We're all screaming. Self-care now is like luxury. When we do it once in 3 months, we hold on to it.
I don't have 3 kids, but look at see my nails.
I try to make it.
Let me hide my.
Even though you can say it's already grown and it's daddy don't change. But what do we do?
It's really hard. I think the other day she was saying to me like, when next are we going for
Our nails.
Man, to get that day is when we're still out there.
There was a time it was just easy. I just got my entry on Friday and we are gone.
We still had 2 children.
Yeah.
Drop them in childcare or in school.
Yeah,
and then you have the day. But then the
now
third child
it's-
came and it's like you drop 2, you still have 1 at home looking at you.
What do you do? Chuck him in the bin.
Alright guys, I think that you have heard what we said. We said our key expectations are lower your expectations or make sure that the expectations of the
Adjust it.
parents are on the same level.
Yeah.
We have said that treat your parents, mother-in-law. We don't have fathers now coming in, so treat them as give them a little bit of home so that they don't feel bored or what is the word? Abandon.
Yeah, make them as
Yeah.
comfortable as they can possibly
And then
be.
sometimes also give them a break.
Maybe we should have another podcast
Yeah.
inviting the grandma so that we can share their own views. And
That'll be
Oh,
interesting.
nice, nice. Okay,
I
okay.
remember because my mom was saying that no, you guys shouldn't be having this podcast. We should be here so we can give our own
So
experience.
yeah, there's always two sides to a story.
Yeah.
So we've said ours. We need to probably hear from them. Well,
Yeah.
that'll be good.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Mhm.
Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have comments, if you have any stories you want to even share, drop them in the comment section and one of us will definitely pick it up and reply you.
Yeah, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram pages, our YouTube channels, and share, and like, please.
Like, yeah.
All right, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.